Fuck it, alright. Welcome everybody to the ETI podcast. This week, me and Gene were meant to be checking out some more Aussie bands, but unfortunately this lockdown they've just put on Perth has kind of fucked our travel plans for that. So now you get to listen to us talk shit about this pandemic instead, I suppose, and how we think it may be affecting the musical industry or artists in general. Take everything we say with a grain of salt, because I mean we don't know any of these people that we might talk about in person. This is just our assumptions and opinions. Yes, people, we're allowed to have opinions. But yeah, so we'll see how we go, and hopefully we don't upset people.
Hopefully.
But if we do, fucking oh well, shit happens.
Get over it.
But yeah, so as everyone knows, the world's in a bit of a state at the moment with this, we'll call it Voldemort, the one that shall not be spoken of because apparently YouTube fucking hears that certain word and clamps down on it. So yeah, this pandemic, obviously musicians will be struggling at the moment, being that obviously touring and whatnot is their sole source of income. But I mean, obviously they're going different routes to try and make money still. I've seen a lot of them doing streaming concerts. You buy a ticket and then I suppose they give you a certain time, you jump online and watch them on that. Have you seen any bands do anything like that, mate, or heard anything like that?
Yeah, just the streaming people were doing like in their rehearsal space, they'll just be playing a few songs and you buy a ticket, and you get to log in and watch it as if it's a live show. So yeah, just the live performance stuff.
Any idea what they're charging for tickets? I probably should have looked at that before we fucking started this.
I actually haven't looked at it. And this will probably piss people off, but the main reason I haven't looked at it because most of the bands that I've seen doing it are all like the big international acts.
Yeah.
Like, and this is kind of where it gets to me about the whole, what we spoke about last week, the whole politics of in the music industry. It's like you get all these celebrities and big bands are like, we're all in this together. It's like, well, no, we're really not. You've got millions of dollars. If you haven't got millions of dollars, you've got hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank, and this year off isn't really going to affect you the same way it affects someone who lives week to week and who can't go to work. So that's the main reason I haven't looked into it, is because I'm not going to... Like, I believe in supporting the industry, but support your local acts. Don't support international bands because they're already making enough money. They've got royalties coming through. They've still got all their streams and downloads and shit on all the big platforms like Apple Music and Spotify. But if there were local like if we had local bands here in Perth saying, all right, cool, Friday night we're doing this stream with all these other bands, like not obviously in the one household or in the one studio, but like at 8 o'clock it's this person, at 9 o'clock it's this band, but they've set it up like a show. I'm going to spend $50 and get a ticket.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spend $50 and get a ticket to watch Korn or Slipknot, or I haven't seen these guys do it. But you understand what I'm saying. I'm not going to spend the money to pay someone.
And you assume some of the bigger bands, like you mentioned, and even like bigger bands again, like Metallica and all that, you would assume that they don't need the money for it. But then some of the smaller bands might. But then you even see some of the bands, like I think it was Danny Filth popped up the other day. You can get paid shout-outs and shit like that.
Yeah, that pisses me off.
And it's like, especially seeing as, that whole conversation we had fucking ages back about old mate Mitchum when he met him at the airport.
Yeah.
And about how apparently they were like, oh, thank fuck you didn't ask for a photo and autograph because we hate it when people do that.
Yeah.
So why are you hating it when people do that when they're the ones that make it so that you can tour and you can travel the world playing music, yet you won't give them the time of day, and it's frustrating if you have to, yet you're happy for them to pay you to be like, all right, just giving a shout out to Gene in Australia. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of fucked. But as you're saying about, if Perth bands were to do sort of live stream, like, I'm really hoping that this lockdown that they have at the moment, it's only meant to be 5 days.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't extend it, because I'm really looking forward to Coronation, the third edition of Coronation coming up with Watermonics and Solemn.
Yeah. And
actually, Woewarden have just jumped on the bill too.
Oh, okay, cool.
Herb's other band that he's playing with, which when we were having a chat to Herb and that, and I said I hadn't seen him before, I didn't realise that they were a band called Cancer that renamed themselves into Wowarden. So I actually have seen them live before.
Oh, okay.
Just under the old name.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm hoping that things go away because that's the 27th of February, I think it is. So I'm looking forward to that one. And yeah, I really hope this lockdown fucks off because I'm keen to go see some fucking bands.
Yeah,
again.
I'm pretty sure
Keen
it's
to go
gonna
get a burger.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be done because I was actually talking to the missus earlier. I said I reckon like even though the security guard who had the illness tested positive and they're saying it took him a couple of days before he showed symptoms or anything like that, but our weather hasn't been the best, and if he's working extra shifts and working his ass off, he could have just had a slight touch of a flu or a cold or something like that. And the reason I think it's a high chance that it's a false positive unless they tested him again and again and again to make sure is because he went to all these places, including a gym here in Belmont, and no one got it. No one's come back and said, oh, you know, I've got whatever we're calling it. But no one's had it. No one's come back and tested positive, and they've done thousands and thousands and thousands of tests, and there's been absolutely nothing. And he's supposed to have one of the more contagious strains. It's like, well, shit, he went fucking everywhere, and no one's got it. We're good. So as of Friday, I would assume Saturday morning we're back to normal.
Well, I hope so, mate. Don't mind me. I'm just trying to see if the
Oh, you're right. Like unless
this
our
thing's actually charging without turning the camera around.
Unless our premiere comes out on like tomorrow afternoon or Friday morning and says, nah, fuck it, we got 1,000 new cases from 0. Like we've had there's been no new cases since this one. So unless he comes out and says there's a bunch of new cases, I reckon we'll be fine. We'll be back.
Which should be pretty extreme for him to do that.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, we're getting off topic as we often do, being that we're two young gentlemen.
Kind of.
That like a drink. But another thing that I was thinking with the way that musos, and I mean, I'm not just aiming this at Perth musos in general, because obviously Australia and Western Australia in particular hasn't been hit like other parts of the world. But I'm just talking the wider sort of musical sense.
Yeah.
Obviously people got merch sales with everyone needing masks in certain places. I've noticed a shitload of bands now bringing out signature masks.
Yeah.
Like it might just be as simple as their logo on it or something like that. A lot of them doing other merch sales, like some of them doing pandemic fucking sort of
pandemic
merchandise
apparel.
shirts. Yeah, pandemic apparel. That's the way you put it. And even, like, you'd assume this would be a good time as well, that if they can't leave the house for whatever reason, there's no reason they shouldn't be possibly working on the next album or, you know, fine-tuning their skills, because there's going to be plenty of time to sit around and fucking play drums or play guitar or fucking, you know, because I know there's new albums coming out.
The thing is, it gets me is like...
Fucking Old Zombie's got an album coming out soon. I don't know if that was written in fucking during this whole lockdown or what the go was, but...
Dropbox and Google Drive and all these sort of technologies make it so simple for a guitarist to sit at home. It doesn't even have to be the finished product, but do a basic recording on his laptop, his or her laptop, chuck it on there for the rest of the band, and everyone can just fuck with it for a week. You don't need to be in a room. I mean, I get people all about, I need to vibe off someone and blah, blah, blah. All these fucking hippies doing that shit, but you can just write a song at home and everyone else can just... put their 2 cents in.
You have a way with words, mate.
As they put their 2 cents in, but when you can catch up with people, then you can sort of refine that song a bit more. You don't like if we were doing a band thing now and we're trying to write original stuff, you don't need to be down here with me. I don't need to be up in Northern with you to write a song. You can just fucking take some time out your day and do it.
Essentially, I've got 6 songs ready to go for you.
Yeah.
You just got to replace the drums, and if there's any tweaks that you think might be needed guitar-wise, then we work them out.
Yeah.
But
there you go. You're fucking Mr. Future Man over here.
Oh, mate, I got too many projects on at the moment. Way too many.
But you understand what I'm saying? Like, people can do the merch. I like the merch. Like, shit, if I had the money, I'd probably be buying more band merch myself anyway. Just to show them more support for the local bands. And again, we talk mostly here in Australia. I'm not just talking WA. I would pay to see an Eastern States band online rather than pay to see Metallica online, for example.
Yep.
And even smaller bands from the States that I've never heard of. You know, if I had heard of them and I like their music and they're not the type of band that's ever going to get out of the States, I'd probably pay to see them online. But what you were saying earlier about Danny Filth doing these, or whoever it is, Incredible Filth, I assume it's Danny, doing these paid shout-outs, like, that's just crap. That is utter shit. The dude was like... Yeah, like, and it was only a few months ago he was talking about a new car that he got, and it's not like he went out and bought a Ford Mondeo, you know, or some European shitbox. It was quite a nice car.
And people like this too more than likely have a few different houses that they could easily fucking, if it's that bad, sell a house. You've never really got into Trivium, but Matt Hafey, the guitarist and singer in Trivium, he got onto Twitch. I don't know if you're familiar with Twitch at all.
Okay, so I get that. Because
now he's got the whole band on there too. Like, now they've all jumped on, and they're all... Because so not only are they getting income from, like, he'll be playing songs or whatever, but also then he's gaming on there and doing everything else, and people are still throwing money at him.
Yeah, but that's entertainment
and
content.
He's got a family to support.
That's not a... To me, that's not a band saying... This is the way I see it. Like, you can literally go to YouTube right now, type in your band that you want to see live, and you'll get a couple of tracks like that were 3 or 4 minute songs that have been cut from a live performance. But if you like scroll down 1 or 2 pages, you don't even have to with some bands. It's just there. There's like an entire set, 2-hour set for some bands.
Oh yeah, I don't mean in sets. I mean more in the way of that's another form of income for him while they're not allowed to tour.
Yeah. No, I get that, and that's what I'm saying. But you go and you pay for a Metallica. All you're going to see is a bunch of old dudes in a room essentially jamming with each other, and people have paid good money to see that. But you could see an actual really shit-hot performance if you just YouTube it. You know what I mean? You don't need to pay for it. So if people are gonna spend money, support your local bands. I have no problems with people spending money on live stream concerts or anything, but like, if I really want to watch a Korn concert or a Slipknot concert, the Download Festival, there's heaps of them on YouTube. You do not need to pay for it, and you're not getting anything different. You're not like by buying this one ticket online, you're not getting a signed poster. You're just getting a performance, and you can go and watch a shit hot performance for free. So if you are going to spend money, spend it on the local bands. Don't get a fucking shout out that means nothing from a bloke in a band just because they're a big international act. Just spend your money locally if you can afford to. Just spend it locally if you're going to spend it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's why I want to get down. Like I said, I definitely want to make it down for this show at the end of February because I've been looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And I do enjoy trying to get down and support local bands when I can, but obviously, I can't do it all the time with the kids and whatnot.
Yeah.
But, because I mean, Watermonics playing, which I've talked to you about fucking a million times, going, you have to come see Watermonic. They're totally not your style at all, like full-on fucking black metal, but I really want you to come and fucking see them because I reckon once you get past the blast beats, you might enjoy them.
As long as they're not boring black metal, I'll be happy.
No, it's entertaining as fuck.
Good, and I'll be happy.
You got a bloke sitting back there, playing drums, screaming away. Old Mr. Dan Granger, who Herb mentioned the other week, plays in every other band in Perth that he doesn't. But Solemn, I'm looking forward to seeing Solemn again live.
That's the thing that kills me about all this. Like, you look at Herbie, he's not an essential worker. He doesn't work in an industry like my partner, like dealing with builders and all that sort of stuff. That she's classified as an essential, so she's not out of the job. I'm supposed to be training for a new job, and I'm doing the training from home. But like, if lockdown continues, I'm not going to work next week because it's not an essential, and it's a gym. It's a gym-based, fitness-based, so it's not an essential work role. But you look at Herbie. Not only is he's probably one of the only drummers in Perth who has, well, not the only, but I know there's a few. But he told us on the podcast, he has an exceptionally beautiful kit. And then now that he's playing in so many bands and practice and whatnot, I'm sure he's going through sticks, skins, fucking whatever all that shit costs, man. Like, guitarists whinge about a pack of guitar strings, but you fucking reskin a drum kit. That shit's expensive. They're like $30 a head, and then it goes up in size. So
I don't get why guitarists do complain about the price of guitar strings when, like you said, skins and shit.
Yeah.
But also, if you look at the jump in price between guitar strings and bass strings, big fucking jump. Guitarists have it easy,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah. But then, like...
And that's coming from a guitarist myself, so if anyone wants to be mad at me, then go eat a dick, you know. It's just my opinion.
Yeah. But if lockdown for some reason goes on and they start doing the... Like, they... Knock on wood, they don't do it, and it won't happen, but the whole... How they opened us up in phases. And it was like hairdressers and beauty parlours were like one of the last places to open or something like that. Herb's not going back to work for ages. He's a tattooist. He works at a tattoo studio.
Yeah.
Like, if there's a pandemic, the last thing you want is someone fucking grazing your skin with needles and blood and fluid transmission and all that sort of shit. So, yeah, support your local bands because there's a very good chance that they're not an essential worker and they're out of work at the moment.
And it's simple things too. Like, I've been wanting to get shows to buy some merch, but it's getting to the point where I think I might just start buying some online.
Yeah, you don't.
I still want to get the All This Filth album. So I'll probably order that online because, like I said, every time they're playing, they always seem to line it up when I've got the kids, so I never get down there. But I'm getting to the point now where I think, well, when's the next time I'm going to actually get to see them? I may as well just order it online and get it shipped up here because I still obviously buy CDs. And there's a few other bands, like some of them Australian bands that we checked out. A few of them I want to order their albums. Yeah. But a few of them as well, the problem is they're not doing physical CDs. They're doing like...
digital.
Downloads or whatever, and I don't do digital, I do CDs. I should really get my shit together and join the modern day fucking technology, but I prefer CDs. I like looking through the liners and shit.
Thing that
and that's where if some of these bands are going to do re-releases and shit, then I'd happily buy re-releases from these bands while they're in fucking their lockdowns or whatever in their countries, even if it is international bands, because one, it's supporting them, and number two, I just love looking through fucking the album artwork and shit like that.
The thing that bugs me about all this, the digital world, is there's no sense of physical ownership.
Yeah.
Like when the PS5 came out, they released it as a digital, and then they released it as one that's got a disc drive. So you can either download the digital copy, or you can go out and buy the hard copy of the disc, go to a store and pick it up, and then you got sense of ownership, and you own it all the time. You never have to download it again unless there's an update. But like I won't buy the digital PS5 if I get one. I'll be getting the disc drive version. And all these bands, like I get that they get money for streaming, so digital world makes sense to them. But I would still personally prefer to... Honestly, I'd rather buy vinyl over CD as well. Like, I'd rather get a record than a compact disc.
Actually, I just ordered a vinyl last night, Chimera, Age of Hell, which personally I didn't think was the greatest Chimera album, but
all you could get.
I'm pretty sure it's the first one they've released on vinyl, and it was only limited to 500. And you know how I like my music memorabilia shit, so I jumped on it and I was like, yeah, fucking grab one.
That's why I got the...
And I mean,
the Static X vinyl.
It'll go on the wall, essentially.
The Static X vinyl I got, you can kind of see it in the background of the video. I've got two copies, one that I got signed at the show, and then one that I listened to, and I got you another. I got you a copy as well, didn't I? You got one, haven't you?
I've got one of the Wisconsin Death Trip that we got signed at the Meet and Greet, but I didn't get one of the new album. I just got the CD that you gave me.
Yeah, I've got both. I've got the new album and I've got the CD. Yeah, all signed. But all these new bands or just Perth bands or local bands or Australian bands or whatever, look into CDs because especially in times like this, if I'm going to support a band, I'll buy shirts. That's cool, but I'd also rather buy a CD or a vinyl. Yeah. If I'm going to listen to their music, and most of the time I listen to vinyl is if I'm just chilling at home doing work on the computer in the dining room or something, or in the lounge room, I'll chuck on music. So I very rarely use the Sonos because we've got that all through the house. So I very rarely use that for streaming, and I only listen to digital music on my YouTube subscription if I'm going for a run. That's really about it.
Yep.
Other than that, I'm listening to audiobooks. So the only time I listen to music...
It's a bit hard to fucking pack your turntable in your backpack and go for a run, isn't it? So you kind of have to.
Yeah. But the only time I listen to actual proper music in terms of physical media is if I'm at home. I'll listen to audiobooks when I'm out and about sort of thing. So, yeah. More local music on physical media would be fantastic.
Yeah.
It can't be too expensive because you see a bunch of not the greatest bands who aren't making money always selling CDs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it can't be too expensive.
Well, I suppose then in that sense they have a band kitty that they might all chuck money into and go from there.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's not. What I mean is they're not going broke doing it.
Yeah. Well, some of them might be. Who knows?
Shit, these days they might be. But during COVID, you can always.
That's the thing.
During COVID, you can always buy a shirt. But I'd be keen to hear from some, if anyone ever watches these videos, like, even if it's next year, let us know what you did this year during shutdown to pass the time. Were you writing music? Were you taking it easy?
Well,
were you just practicing your skills and not writing? Were you learning something different, learning a different instrument? Whatever. Maybe they're learning to mix. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, that will be a good one. Once we get some more, well, it depends on this lockdown too, because our plan was to try get a guest once a month in this new year. But now, if we're going to continue lockdown, we might not have the option of doing that unless we do a call like this.
Yeah.
Which isn't always optional for everyone. So we'll have to work out how we're going to go about that. But it'll be interesting whoever we get on next to have a chat to them about not only, like you said, what they're doing during this time, but also in that first big lockdown we had where pretty much everything was fucking shut down.
Yeah.
Because I know Jesse, who lives in town here where I live, I know it was driving him insane not being able to get down to Perth to be able to jam with the boys. And I know he was fucking loving it when they finally said, yep, that fucking border at the lakes is open. Fuck off to Perth if you want to. He was fucking straight down there. Getting into it with, his bands of Viscerus and Wrath of Fenrir and whatnot. And so it'll be interesting because there would be that situation with a lot of people where it doesn't mean that they're in a band, they all live in the same neighbourhood. They could still live an hour or two away from each other and still have to travel to practice.
Yeah.
So it's all individual situations, obviously. But I don't know how long we've been talking about this shit now for. But before we wrap it up, I see we might have a quick chat about your thoughts on the new Rob Zombie song that was released.
I didn't mind it.
Obviously, he's got a new album coming out soon.
Yeah. No, I didn't mind it. Probably another couple of listens and I'll be a little bit more on board. But deep down, all I want is another fucking Hellbilly Deluxe. Not a Hellbilly Deluxe 2.
Which
but
we're never going to get.
It's never going to happen. And I get that as entertainers, they have to grow and mature or whatever as well, and they have to do this and they have to do that. But a nice throwback would be nice. A good throwback album would be nice.
Yeah, definitely.
You just won't get it. So we'll see what happens.
No, we're never going to get it.
I'm keen for the album. I'm looking forward to it because even though I don't share his opinions on a lot of things, I do like his music and I do love his movies. So, a majority of his music and the majority of his movies are really good. So, it's always good to see what he's going to come out with and what he's going to do next.
Well, I quite enjoyed this song. I liked it a lot better than the first single he released. And obviously, like we talked about this the other day too, where apparently John 5 said, it's going to be the heaviest album and whatnot. But I mean, we hear that from every musician when they're about to release an album. It's the heaviest, it's the best, whatever else. But I'm hoping that it is quite a heavy album. Because, I mean, as I've mentioned a million times, it feels like before, I loved what John 5 was doing when he used to be in Manson.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of disappointed in a way of the shit he was doing with Zombie. So I'm really hoping that he can get some heavy shit going and this new album comes out and it's fucking great.
Yeah.
But we're just going to have to wait and see. And then I suppose we can do that and check out Edition 2. We'll check out the new album when it releases.
I don't really want Rob Zombie's stuff to be heavier because it's very... it reminds me of like psychedelic funk metal more than anything. Yep. So I don't want it to be heavier. But like every time a band comes out, I remember like back when All Hope Is Gone was coming out, Joey Joyce was like, "This is fucking the most brutal album we've ever made," and it was ridiculous. It was shit. It had nothing.
It was fucking shit.
It had nothing on Iowa. It wasn't heavier. It just wasn't. And to be honest, it is what it is, and it's just a horrible album at the end of the day. But then you also get, I think Lars has just come out and said this is going to be the best Metallica album they've ever written or some shit about what they're doing. AC/DC
Well,
is
that's
supposed to be doing
another
something
band.
in a studio and their writing supposed to be the greatest.
Yeah,
It's like,
because they've got Brian Johnson back and they've got Phil Rudd back on drums as well.
no, but you know
So
what
I
I
think
mean. Like
everyone's sort of
it just
expecting it to be good.
It doesn't matter what genre you go to. It doesn't matter what band you go to. Every time they release an album, they G'd up, and it's always a fucking letdown. I would hate it if the Spice Girls came back and said this is going to be the most British pop album ever. It's like, well, hang on, it's probably not. It's probably going to be shit like everything else you've done. But you know what I mean? Like, that's the last thing we need is people consistently coming out and saying, "Well, this." Well, no, it's that, and fuck off. You're not getting my money.
Yeah.
So I don't want Rob Zombie to be heavier. I don't want him to claim that it's going to be heavier. He shouldn't have to feel that they need to claim that if that's what the deal is. But
But I honestly hope it does, because, I mean, for me, I love guitars, obviously, and I want to hear a guitar-heavy album, because some of the stuff he's been releasing is all over the fucking show, really.
yeah,
So, in that sense, I'm looking at it in the sense of, yeah, more like that. But anyway, we're not going to get onto that, because we could be here for hours fucking talking about that shit.
Oh, and just before we finish it off, that one video we got a bunch of thumbs downs on was a Marilyn Manson video we done a while back, saying how shit his new album was, because it was shit. But his record label has just thrown him because of all the abuse allegations
All
coming
the
through
abuse
from his
claims and shit,
ex-girlfriends and everything. So I'll have to wait and see what happens with that. He either fucked up real bad and it's finally catching up to him, or people are just trying to jump on the hashtag Me Too movement. Which I hope not.
No, because I think it's one of them things. I think it's one of them things where he's been doing it for so long, and sort of like that rock star untouchable mentality,
Yeah.
where he's like, "Fuck you, I'll do what you want. I'm Marilyn fucking Manson."
Yeah.
Because I mean, he's admitted as much that he's a certain way. He hasn't turned around and said, "Oh yeah, I definitely do this or do that," but he's admitted to a certain point that he is a certain way with women, and it would not surprise me at all if he is an abusive fuckwit.
Fuck.
I mean,
Surprise myself, man.
if what are you doing, trying to get your schlong out or something?
Just broke his little fucking clip. Anyway,
Fucking hell.
you were saying?
But yeah, I mean, we'll just have to wait and see how it goes with that.
Yeah.
And because I could definitely see it in him, but like, I don't know the guy personally, so I'm not going to say yes he did or no he didn't. But it honestly wouldn't surprise me if everything that's been said about the bloke is fucking true. And I mean, that doesn't take away his music, but the good music anyway. But
you can be
it's still pretty fucked.
You can be a really nice, good dude or individual, and just play an absolute freak as your stage act, which is what he did for so long. But I think there comes a time where that stage act bleeds into your personal life and becomes your new reality to a point.
Yeah.
You know, so I think potentially that's something that's happened. He didn't put enough separation between.
Well, exactly.
Marilyn Manson and
he's
Brian
crossed the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's crossed the line. He's gone from Warner to Manson, and the drugs and alcohol didn't help either, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, and you hear shit as well about people saying he will not talk to you unless you call him Mr. Manson or whatever and shit like that. And it's like, that shit's probably true too, because he seems like he's living on a huge fucking ego trip.
Yeah.
But who knows? It's going to get us a thumb down if any Manson fans watched this far. But,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
No one's watched us this far anyway, mate. We see the analytics people. And that's another thing. If yous want fucking help support us, like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Because we see that a lot of people that watch our videos aren't actually subscribed. And I hate doing that whole fucking thing. Like,
Yeah, we never plug anything.
guys, but it helps.
Actually,
I mean,
do you know what I saw
it definitely
today
helps.
that bugged the shit out of me? Like, this really bugs the shit out of me. Is everyone's favourite drummer on YouTube, Mr. 66 Samus. Did you see his fucking reaction video to that Italian bloke or Spanish bloke over in fucking wherever he's from, over in Europe somewhere? Did you see that?
What's he done, a new one?
Yeah.
He done one ages ago that I saw, but I think he does them regularly.
No, well, he came on, like, the video's like, I don't like reaction videos, you guys know that, but this is something you've been hounding me for. So it was just to another drummer on YouTube. And throughout the whole thing,
Yep.
he was just up his ass the entire time. Just the entire time. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, it gets views and likes and whatever. But just be yourself, I think. and we never go out and say like, subscribe, share, comment, follow, PayPal us. We don't beg for shit, is what I'm saying. Like, you get a lot of people who, like, they've got PayPal links, you can just donate money to them.
I wouldn't want to take other people's money,
No.
because honestly, like, if you want to just sit there and if you can put up with us talking shit for half an hour or an hour, depending on the video, fuck, I don't want you to have to pay me for that.
No, exactly. But
like,
this thing,
fuck, you know?
what I saw today on YouTube was one of the fucking most horrific videos I've ever seen. Like, I don't want to say that I respect Samus, because I don't know him on a personal level, so I'm not going to say that I respect him because he's a YouTuber and he's a good drummer and he played with Devin Townsend and all that sort of shit. That's fine. His accomplishments are his, and that's cool. But if I did respect the dude because of what he does on YouTube, I lost a ton of respect for him today when I saw that video. Just the bloke he was reviewing or reacting to, he's actually a shit hot drummer, really talented. He makes a single bass drum pedal sound like a double very easily.
Yeah.
And he only plays with like a floor tom, a snare drum, a bass drum, cymbals. That's it. And he's up on his chops, like his rudiments, and he's fast as hell. Looks really relaxed while he's doing it. Has a smoke while he's playing, which, okay, that's your own thing to do. That's fine.
Which is very healthy.
Yeah, well, I think it's cigarettes or pot that he's smoking or something. So regardless, that's him. That's fine. But old mate O'Yer was like really up his ass today, and I'm like, fuck, dude, what's going on? Is YouTube not paying you enough? You need to fucking collab with someone else. Like, just I love all of his content. 66 Samus, he's doing fucking fantastic shit. Love it all. But today, that video, I was just like, I didn't even finish watching the whole thing. But he's like, he's pausing and goes, oh my god, that fill was just delicious and fucking nasty and blah blah blah. It's like watching your mate do his album reviews. You get a sense of who someone is from a video, and then you see him do something just fucking retarded, and you're like, oh man, just fucking stupid. And you're thinking, why the fuck would you do that? Why would you put yourself and make yourself look like a clown for a couple of likes and thumbs ups? You know.
It's the way of the world, mate. Look at all these people on their Instagrams and all that shit.
Do you know what?
They do stupid shit for likes and whatnot. That's why we don't do the social media thing, because we're not out there fucking wanting, ooh, like us. Like, obviously,
we're not
it fucking
influencers.
helps the channel, but
when I finally get out of the fitness industry, which I'm trying to exit this year, I'm thinking about actually fucking this phone off that I'm recording the smartphone and just getting a Nokia flip phone. Because all I do on my phone now is call, answer phone calls, and text, and that's it. Like, I'm trying not to use scroll through Instagram or anything like that. So I'm like getting myself off that. And the only time I will use it, I'll probably keep this phone, but not on like a SIM card. It'll just be Wi-Fi at home. And the only time I'll use it is if I have to do a post for Instagram, because Instagram, you can't actually post from your computer for some stupid fucking reason. You can only post.
We'll say that's how big on Instagram I am. I didn't even fucking know that.
I found that out the hard way last year. You can only post from a mobile device or a tablet. So the only reason I have to keep one of these phones around is just for that, for a post here and there. But I'll probably end up getting my personal Instagram off. I just fucking sick of it. Sick of the social media world. The
podcast one. Yeah, that's why I hardly go on, and it's like I go on maybe weekly if I have to put up, check out our latest video. But sometimes you do that too. Like, usually when I edit the video, I chuck it up, and then after I've released it, then I do it. But this week you're editing, so I suppose you can take care of the Facebook side of things, or if you want me to, I can once it's posted.
Yeah.
But that's really the only time I go on Facebook. I use Messenger. I chat to people on Messenger.
Yeah.
But as far as Facebook itself goes, I can't fucking stand it. Instagram, I used a bit when I first started because you always used to send me funny shit.
Oh, there's some...
But even now, I don't find myself looking at it daily.
There's some funny
days
shit on Instagram.
I might not look at it for 3 days.
There's some real funny shit on Instagram, and I don't mind looking at the funny shit, but all I'm saying is I don't need it in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at things very basic. So humanity got all this way without Instagram as social media, and these stupid TikTok dance videos that all these fucking idiots are doing. Like, I couldn't think of a
And
worse
they
way.
go fucking viral.
I genuinely couldn't think of a worse way to waste time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the
I
way of the
actually
world
couldn't.
these days, mate.
I couldn't think of a worst way to waste time than fucking your life up on social media. Because you can go for a job and they'll look you up on social media. If they don't like something they've seen, you ain't getting that fucking job.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that.
So I'm looking for a complete detachment from social media.
Yep,
It's going to be amazing.
that's fair enough too. If we weren't doing this podcast shit, I would never go on it. Maybe once a month to check out what gigs are coming up.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I wouldn't fucking know.
I was actually thinking.
But,
I miss the internet for what it was for. Websites and looking information up rather than just watching a TikTok video. And I don't have TikTok. You only see it when people repost the shit.
yeah.
So, man.
Yeah, I see the TikTok shit pops up on YouTube every now and again.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Fucking TikTok.
Anyway, we're so off topic now. It's not funny.
Yep.
So
Support
thank
your
you to
local
anyone
bands.
that's watched us to this point. Yeah, go check out some. Even if you're not in Perth, if you're over east or in another country, whatever, do what you can. Support your local scene because at the end of the day, everyone's struggling. Some of these bigger artists aren't, but definitely people who rely on this sort of thing, they're all struggling. So show whatever support you can.
Even if people
and go do what you need to do.
Even if it's the bands they're not relying on it, still support them because you might find some killer fucking music in the meantime.
Yeah,
you have some good shows.
Like we are when we're doing this. Check out the Aussie bands thing.
Yeah,
found some really good fucking bands.
Yeah,
some of which I still need to get on and buy their CDs too.
Yeah,
the ones that are actually selling physical CDs. But anyway, like, subscribe, do all that shit, and thank you very much.
Do all that
Hopefully next week we're back to normal. As long as they open up between me and Gene, I'll be down to record sometime next week. If not, it'll be another one of these
Zoom calls.
Good old internet phone calls.
Yeah, not Zoom. Yes. We're on Google Hangouts.
Yeah, we fucked Zoom off because we were having dramas with it.
Zoom was fucking
Us
horrible.
and technology just don't mix, do it?
No.
Like, it doesn't mix at all. Anyhow, ta-ta!
Catches.